going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be taking a little bit of a deeper dive into Enzo Lopes and what could be going on behind the scenes, as well as where his career is possibly headed. Real quick, I just want to apologize for my voice. I'm a little bit under the weather. Nothing too serious, and I just want to keep bringing you guys moto content. So let's get into it. So back in February, as I was trying to put together a 250 East ranking video, I noticed that Enzo Lopes wasn't on the start list for the Detroit race. So I dug a little deeper and I was able to find some information saying that, yeah, it looks like Enzo Lopes is going to be out. So sure enough, I put out a little video stating that Enzo is going to be out. He's not going to be racing. We're not sure exactly what's going on or how long, but he's out. And then shortly after that, Star Yamaha put out a release, and then Enzo put up an Instagram update. And pretty much what he ended up saying in the Instagram update, it was actually, I believe, in Spanish, but roughly translated, it states that, he had an arm surgery that some of his teammates had. And long story short, they were back on the bike after 2 to 3 weeks, and it's taken him much longer. He couldn't even start his bike, even with the electric start button. So he didn't have enough arm strength to start, just to push the button down. So now he's back riding. There's high expectations from the team, high expectations from him. And so he wants to take a little bit of time to try to build a base and then come out swinging in round 2. Well, that was early on in February, and now we're heading into April. So a little bit concerning when looking at Enzo for multiple reasons. Obviously, number one, he's been out for much longer than even he expected, besides the initial expectation. But what I'm actually much more concerned about is the fact that he's on a supercross only deal, and supercross is almost over. Even if he does come back at the next round in Foxborough, I believe he would only have 4 rounds to race at. And realistically, it's going to be really hard to jump into the middle of the championship, where there's a pretty good battle going on, and be in any kind of good contention, just to jump in there and start mixing it up. We saw Michael Moseman, obviously, he got in there last weekend in the West Coast side of things, and while he did pretty well, it wasn't anything spectacular. So, not to say that he didn't do good, but all I'm saying is that at this point, Enzo needs to earn another ride somewhere, and realistically, it's going to be a little hard to do that with 7th and 8th place finishes. He needs to go out there and at least pull some good top 5s or get a flash, a whole shot, lead some laps, or get on the podium. And to do that in 4 rounds, and that's if he can come back for Foxborough, it's going to be really tough. Having said all that, I don't expect him to return for Foxborough, and I'm not sure that we can expect him to return to Supercross racing at all this season. Now, if you go on any of his social media, it's been dead silent since his February 1st update that basically said, "I'll see you guys in round 2. That in itself, the silence speaks volumes for the fact that he's really not doing too well. Obviously, if he had some sort of a positive update of like, hey, whatever, this or that, I should be back by round 4, see you guys then, I feel like that would have been put out there by now. I feel like we're dealing with kind of an Adam Cianciarulo type of injury here. Obviously, this one's a little bit more self-inflicted, but whatever the case may be, I think it's more of a ghost, and they're trying to hunt down what's really going on because they seem to think that it's this, so that's going to work, and they do this and that, and it's still the same issue. And I'm assuming that his injury is actually getting worse again, and then getting better, and then worse, and it's just kind of intermittent, and it's not really allowing him to actually ride and train, and therefore he's just basically trying to find a solution to get himself to be able to be fully capable of riding. I don't know exactly what they did, but it sounds like it was some sort of acupuncture type of deal where they try to open up your arms and the blood flow for preventing arm pump. I feel like this was something that was more trendy to do than necessary. Like in his post said, his teammates did it, and I feel like it was just kind of either expected or cool to do along with them. And I think he's obviously regretting that now. If you look back at his season last year, he actually finished 4th in the points, only 7 points behind Levi Kitchen. And so I think that's how he was able to earn the Star Yamaha ride. Now, having said that, this is where I'm really concerned. He had a good thing going with Club MX, and he decided to burn that bridge right at the end of the off-season and switch over to Star Yamaha. So if he would have stuck with Club MX, I feel like not only would he not be in this position because he probably would have never had that surgery in the first place, I also feel like if he was in a position of injury or concern, he would have already had like a 2 or 3 year deal that he could have fallen back on to just say, hey, you know what, I'm going to come back next year. But now, realistically, probably isn't going to be able to go back to Club MX, and I'm assuming that this Supercross only deal is not going to be fulfilled because he's never going to race Supercross this year, and he's probably not going to be on Star Yamaha, and therefore he's just going to be a free agent. And I don't know that anyone's going to look to hire a free agent that just came from a factory team that he never even raced for. So realistically, what I see happening is Enzo's probably not going to race in Supercross. He's going to end up a free agent, and he's going to have to put together his own program to go racing, which I do think he potentially could do, but it's not going to be easy. You know, going racing on your own is never easy. And for him specifically, I don't think it's sustainable. He doesn't have the support of, you know, his family living here where he could just, you know, go live with his parents or whatever and just kind of race out of a van. He's got to pretty much literally do everything on his own. So that's going to be tough to sustain for a year or two or however long it takes for him to prove that he's got the speed back and he should be on a team. So I don't know. He's in a pretty sketchy situation. I feel really bad for him and the situation he's in. I wish we could have him out there because it was a lot of fun to see him racing, and I feel like he was really building his career to a good position. So this is really not the type of video that I was looking to make, but I feel like it's worth talking about. I feel like there's a lot of stuff going on in Supercross and motocross right now, and it's kind of being overlooked where Enzo's at. I just wanted to talk about it a little bit and kind of sound the alarm at this point because I'm getting concerned for him and his career. And honestly, guys have gone down and not returned to racing for less. I really hope to see Enzo back. I hope that he can return, and it'd be awesome to see him make a debut on the Star Racing team, but at this point, I don't think that's going to happen. But definitely let me know what you guys think, and if you think we'll see him return to racing at any point or on the Star Yamaha or whatever the case may be. With that being said, though, that's all I have for this video. Again, hopefully, Enzo, we'd like to see you soon. Wish you all the best. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.